All right, now we are live. Hello, everybody. I see we have a few people already waiting, and I see that I got a super chat from Red Lentil Healing. Adrian, thank you so much for your support. Thank you to everybody for supporting us in all the ways that you do. All right, so it is Weird Questions, and today I brought on a friend. We got Tarot's Apprentice here. Everybody say hi.
Can you see? I can't see myself. There we go. Okay. Hi. I'm still on a whole nother screen.
I almost pointed the wrong way because I'm not used to StreamYard being like essentially backwards. This is gonna get me every time.
It is backwards. Okay. And which doesn't go well with me because I do everything backwards anyway. Everything I said this before. Every necklace I put on backwards first, and then I take it off and put it on the right way.
That's how I have to do some of mine too. It's like, oop.
Story of my life, I swear. Okay.
So for those of you who are not already familiar with Johnny with Tarot's Apprentice, go check out his channel and go and like his videos and subscribe and do what you need to do over there because he is great. So thank you for coming on Weird Questions today. The first Weird Questions with friends.
I always like these streams.
I have fun doing these.
Well, it gives me a change from, all the other garbage I have to read all the time. So I like this.
And you know what? There's some things that I do always like. I've always wanted to look at, but it was like, well, I don't know if this is enough content for one video on its own. So it's nice to put them all together. Chris says the weirder the better, and I agree.
Yes.
And I always say, like, there are no stupid questions. The stupider questions are usually the better ones. So let's go through the questions that we're going to ask today. So first of all, we have, do superhuman and or magical powers exist? And what do they look like? How would they manifest? I also have, is there a type of reptilian people on Earth? And if there are, why? And what do they do? And then I have, are there other species of humans on other planets, or are we the only humans? That's what I wondered too. I always, because it makes me think of, like Star Wars, how they have all kinds of people and aliens and stuff on all the planets. Like, well, why can't it be like that here?
I always wondered, because people always looking for life on other planets and saying, well, there's aliens here, they're just disguised as us. Are they disguised or do they just look like us? I mean, are we really that unique, or is there another planet out there that spawned the same kind of life?
Right. I know that there's spiritual life all over the universe and our solar system, but, like physical, like humanoid forms. I wonder about that too. One question is, can some people actually communicate with animals? And if so, how? Because that's a good one too. And then, do unicorns exist? Where and did they evolve? Now, this is interesting. Yesterday, when I was coming up with, like, compiling all the questions, thanks everybody for their suggestions, and also thank you, Johnny, for your suggestions. I actually had a little intuitive hit come in regarding unicorns, and I think I will share that a little bit later. Keep the suspense going here. That's kind of the word I was looking for. All right. So, superhuman and magical powers, do they exist? Do we have, people running around like the X-Men? Do we got,
Because I just thought to myself that human beings can, like, a lot of their abilities, if you will, are here. A lot of their senses are here outside of touch. Well, you can still touch with the skin on your face. And so it's like you have your regular senses, and then you have your elevated senses, and then you have your third eye and your connection to spirit, and you can see the dead or hear the dead, and all those different types of things, and that we don't consider magic powers. But yet, if you really looked at it, it's not really human, like normal human either.
It's not average. Yeah, not everybody even knows that they can do that. And I remember watching a very long time ago a show on people that kind of had these superhuman abilities. Like one guy, I think from Germany or something like that, he was able to withstand absolutely freezing temperatures. Another guy was like had pretty much a calculator for a brain.
You
He
know,
could do all that complex, crazy stuff. He knew a whole bunch of digits of pi, and like, I kind of wondered about that too. Like, are those kind of superpowers, or what's that all about?
that's what I wondered. It's kind of almost like adrenaline too, to where it can give you these well, not superhuman. I don't want to keep saying that, but like this extraordinary strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your car slides off the road, your kids are in it, the next thing you know, you could pull it out the ditch with one hand type thing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's let's see. Okay. Okay.
I'm getting a weird answer.
So I get 6 of swords, the lovers, the 2 of cups, the 7 of pentacles, and the 9 of swords. It's with the tarot, it starts with saying that I think the answer is yes, but this is showing me, I only pulled 5 cards, mind you, but this is showing me that there is more. Look at your connection to other people. Your connection to spirit is not superhuman. It's it goes with your being. Everybody can do it. So that's not actually not normal. It's normal. People look at psychics like it's a thing. Everybody's psychic. So it's not like I'm doing something you can't do.
Right.
This, however, is saying that you empathic, you getting someone's feelings, you being into someone's energy, that's more of a superpower. The lovers and the 2 of cups is your connection to other human beings. The 9 of swords, the worry, the stress, anxiety, you can sort of tell what a person is feeling. Everybody can't do that. Some people are completely oblivious to the suffering of other people. You can walk right past them and think nothing. Now that does take a little human training, but there are also other things with the oracle card. It says discover your sparkle and revitalize your nervous system. There is something inside that we can do too. I pulled one more. Some people can see in the dark apparently, but I can't. So that's why I have lights all
without
over.
glasses and contacts, I'm not very good at seeing in the normal.
I take this off, as everything disappears. So
that's exactly it. I wouldn't, without these, I wouldn't be able to see anything on my screen, just the colors, or my cards, just the colors. So basically, what I got was yes, but a lot of people kind of miss the point. There's something about missing the point. Like, there's so many things that we brush off as, well, that doesn't count as like a super ability. And while our connection to the divine is very, very natural, just not many people tend to explore it. What I think it's where it branches off, the different niches of psychic abilities. Some of it's kind of like those I'm picking up in a way. Some I also just have here the ability to like pick up messages. And I think that I'm not picking up like from spirit, but just from like other people's higher selves. I kind of agree with you. It's that ability to connect with other people and to you can have a connection to spirit and get psychic insights, but that doesn't always mean that you're going to necessarily be empathic and be able to understand individual people on a deeper level like that.
It's kind of like that effect that twins have, where they kind of know how each other's feeling, or they know if like the other twin is in danger or happy or whatever on the other side of the country type thing.
I also have here with the moon, like there's a lot of hidden. I think the word latent is trying to come in, but just a lot of abilities that we have that because we haven't maybe thought about it before, or I'm actually getting like, for example, like healing. Not necessarily like Wolverine's healing factor, you know, he gets shot and the bullet pops out and he's fine. But I mean, like energy healing. There's different types of energy healing. But in some people, they have that very strong ability, but it's just dormant because they haven't actually learned about any of that yet, or they just don't know about it.
That's interesting.
And that's where we kind of miss the point. Sometimes we do have our own innate. I'm also getting the image of a painter, like an artist. Some people are just brilliant creativity, like with their creativity, and that's also considered. Spirit's kind of saying to me that we can consider that a power in its own because it's something not everyone is like apt for. Something.
I like that.
I like that. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I still traded for the seeing in the dark thing.
Yeah. I wish that I could like go invisible or just pop in and out wherever I want, teleport kind of like that. But Spirit tells me like, well, only on Earth you're not able to do those things. Normally you are able to do all those things because we're all energetic beings. Okay, we're gonna change gears a little bit. Are there reptilian people on Earth? And if there are, why? What do they do? I would ask, like, like, what is their purpose? I don't want that to sound like mean, though. I don't want to sound like...
Why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to sound like that. Because everybody is here for a reason. I'm assuming even the reptilians, if they are here. So what's with that? I'm getting another weird answer. I need to clarify a couple things.
So I don't think reptilian people so much.
Right.
I got this before, and I'm still on the struggle bus with this in particular one, but I will go with it because that's what the cards say. There are mermaids, though, or some sort of chimeric creature where there's parts of other what we would consider parts of creatures put together.
Yes.
That are underwater. It started with the King of Cups, which means we are in the aqua realm here. So I'm like, okay, so are there reptilian people? Not so much. There is a whole system of people with the Hierophant.
Right.
There's like a leader and other things, but not reptilian, and they're not walking around on Earth. I get that there's a whole bunch of stuff under the water. You want to find an alien, that's the first place to look, I think. Like, look at the octopus.
That's true.
There is a bunch of things under the water. There's a system. There's a community. They have a governance. They have all that with the 4 wands and the 6 of wands.
I got that. Oh my god.
there's that underneath. But like I say, I think it's more of a chimeric creature. So there's a bunch of stuff sort of put together, like human top and fish bottom.
Centaur, but yeah, not centaur, but
that's what
maybe like underwater, half person, half seahorse. Maybe that's like a
something. I mean, I don't think reptile though. I just think it's more of a different kind of creature.
Because I got very similar, because I also got this "you're missing the point" card, where Spirit was telling me, like, no, Sienna, you're thinking literally people that are walking around on the land, and the image I always had is like somebody going, with like the lizard
Yes,
tongue.
like snail skin
And
and
the
all
snakes
that.
like smell the
That's
air
what I
like
was
that.
thinking too.
Spirit's like, no, not necessarily. That was a human creation. However, there are different. First, Spirit just calls them different people.
Yes.
Just different type of experience. But they come here for the same reason that all of us come here. There's fellowship. There's their community. They go through challenges and they learn hard lessons just like us. There's an added layer of challenge for them because I don't know what it is. I've actually picked this up with lots of like, well, different aliens or different just weird kind of species where they know that people don't necessarily believe in them and they feel safe in that. So there's something about that. Maybe it just makes existence a little bit harder. Maybe they have fear or something regarding like what's happening on the surface, which to be honest, I don't blame them. Anyways, I have that they come here to join the Earth family. And with the Hierophant, I like that you were picking up society and organization and stuff. I was picking up unity. They come here to experience unity with all that is, just from a different point of view. Instead of from spirit or from a different world, it's from this world. That they come here, they have, I guess they kind of live in harmony on their own. They're here to connect with each other and to love each other. And they're supposed to be here. They're meant to be here. I'm hearing the spirit saying they have the right to exist. And that's showing me the root chakra, just how like we have the right to exist. That's just an affirmation. But that is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't picking up that's cool that you were picking up like different underwater kind of species. I wasn't sure what was coming in. I just knew there were different people.
Yeah. And it makes sense that, you wouldn't necessarily feel the safest because we have people like, for instance, I read tarot cards and let's say that that's widely known. And would I really just waltz up in any Pentecostal church and be the most accepted of person? Like even between human beings, we don't accept each other all the time. So, I mean, could you just imagine something that doesn't even, that we can't register?
Yeah.
Like, what am I looking at? What is this creature? What is this thing? Are you here to eat me? Like, it's, I understand.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I do pick up, like, they're amazingly intelligent. They have their own, like, systems of communication and stuff, and they know what happens on the surface. I do feel as though some do sometimes come up to the surface just to check and just out of curiosity and research. I keep hearing that word research. Yeah. So I wonder if they kind of see us as like, oh, they're the weird things that live on the surface that are wrecking the place.
I would imagine.
You know what? And like, I don't know, Spirit's just showing me all this like mental images now, but there's somebody that a plastic bag has floated down deep enough that they found it. And that kind of has them very, very worried.
Yeah. There's my Earth card. And then I get all the other cards that I just got. So
oh my God. Did you get Queen of Pentacles? Oh, no, I got Queen of Cups. Never mind. We both got Queen.
But I got that again. The same two cards, Four Wands and Hierophant. It's like their society does look in and see the state of the earth. Because mind you, if they are in the water, what we do affects them.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if, companies are going to literally set water on fire, then yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. Oh, sorry. One viewer has a birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I got that they actually, these different people, because Spirit's saying that we can still call them people. Because Spirit showed me you can be technically person without being human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That makes sense. And I have this high priestess, like they are incredibly spiritually connected. And I pick up like a lot of telepathy that some of them could be very good with like it's like with really close bonds. It's like how, well, you were saying earlier, like twins have that
Mm-hmm.
connection with each other,
That's the
or
word I was looking.
sometimes spouses are like that too, or they just have that. It's very similar. The ones that they have the strongest connection with, I pick up it's parents and children, especially down there, have like a telepathic link, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The first time, this is all new to me.
Mm-hmm.
And well, okay, so in that vein, we have other types of humans on our own world. What about other worlds? Are there other species of humans or humanoids on other planets, or are we the only humans on Earth? Because I mean, there are Earth-like planets
Yeah.
that scientists think could support life, you know, and could have similar things to Earth.
Because they look for the biomarkers. If your planet is basically like ours, blue and green, then there's more than likely oxygen. And if there's oxygen, then there's something on that planet pushing out oxygen. So at least you'll have plant life, and you'll look for other little signs that there's other kinds of life, like if there's nitrogen in the atmosphere, there's this and this and this. So
bacteria and different.
yeah. So we know, well, I'll say it, we know that there is life in the universe. There's life on other planets, but is there humans is what the question is are there people that look like us walking around another planet?
Again, I'm thinking of Star Wars. They just go a few planets over and visit a completely different bunch of people.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I don't know if. Now I'm getting the word hominid. I don't know if they are exactly Homo sapiens or exactly like us, but I actually am getting the Fool card, and the Strength card, which is just showing me Spirit saying like, actually like dare to believe that it's really strange. It sounds, to some people, it probably does sound like a foolish, way of thinking, but look at that strength. There's like, and I kept hearing that word hominid. I just feel like there are like humanoid, different types of people. Now, of course, oh my gosh, I keep getting this Four of Cups. It's like we're just not seeing them. It could be that they're very far away, and we just don't, have any probes or anything that's made its way over there to any of those planets. But it seems like there are some like hominid, I guess, type living people. I have that they have communities, families. They act. Oh, and I have here dropped it. They work. They have their jobs, their manual labor, their things that they do. They have, with Three of Pentacles, education, which I pick up from that one. Like they, they got teachers. They've got. It's very, very similar to us, but I guess it's just set up. Their society is just set up in a way that suits them. But I don't know. I got Justice and I got Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune being like they're meant to be there, and they're living their own karmic experiences, and their purpose is the same as all of ours.
I get very confused at the beginning here. There is life out there. Does it look exactly like us? I think that, okay, so these two learn to scan your body, which means that our body is going to look like theirs. They might have different features, like they may be way taller than us. I know extended space travel does actually stretch you. And so maybe they are just way taller than we are. Create a balanced life, which kind of went with that Justice card. So this is basically saying, also, when you go and looking for life in space, don't always look for something walking and talking. Sometimes the creepy crawly is kind of how life started. So that's what you need to look at, so forth and so forth. but also look at it in a different way. Like if you were to go to this planet, you wouldn't be completely lost because their society is set up kind of the same. They have hierarchies, they have lower archies, they have middle archies, they have all these type of things like we do.
They
like
work, they learn.
Yes, their society is kind of set up like ours. So it's not.
I feel like the Emperor, it could even be somebody like leadership.
Yes, it's set up like we got here, where you got leaders and this and that and this and that. They got poetry and art and all of that type of stuff too. So life is not different, but the physical specimen may look a little different. But if you were to see all of the varieties of human on Earth, you wouldn't be so shocked if you saw them too. So I'm gonna say yes with the asterisks.
It's kind of like yes, but because I'm also picking up that there is more than one planet like this. I pick up at least, well, Spirit's saying there are lots. Some of them are too far away.
Yeah.
We just aren't aware, but there's two that I'm definitely picking up where on one of them, they grow the body size and stuff. It's just in accordance to what their atmosphere is like, how much oxygen they have access to, how much nutrients are in the ground or in the food or whatever. And I do pick up that there's they're very small, but they're kind of humanoid, but they're just small.
Okay, because that's what this was saying, and I'm like that. There are some with this here where, like I said, their society is built like ours, that maybe they just look different. And I kept getting that they're either newer than us or they're smaller than us.
I was definitely thinking that they're smaller. Maybe both. Maybe they're smaller and newer.
Okay, like their life, their creation, because our planet's been here for how long, and humans have been here for how long. It's like they are doing that would, based upon just the Tolkien, that would be such a pretty world.
Oh, imagine if he was just channeling information from those planets or something. Like that would have been amazing.
Oh, hobbits.
But that one was cool. That was actually, I didn't expect that answer to come up at all.
Me either.
I just assumed there's spiritual life everywhere. There's bacteria. There's plant life. I didn't really think about, and Spirit's telling me it's all intelligent.
Yeah.
It just depends on our perspective. Our definition of intelligent is quite limited.
Because mind you, our definition of intelligent is test we give ourselves. So it's like human beings come up with knowledge, and then we test ourselves and say, okay, you got all the answers right, so you're intelligent all the time.
You memorized this.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you can walk, talk, recognize yourself in the mirror. You can whatever. You must.
Meanwhile, if you get lost in the rainforest, you'll probably die in 3 hours. But you're very smart.
Yeah. Melinda, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that very much. DM Dave says Jeff Sessions is part gnome. It's the only branch on his family tree.
Not the gnomes.
So I guess we're kind of going towards different species now, but can some people actually communicate to animals? And if so, how?
Let's see, let's start here.
Janet says, hello from Sweden. We are strange critters too.
Yes.
My family is Norwegian. We got a bunch of Norwegian background, and I can agree.
And all humans are strange.
A bunch of weird Vikings. So, can some people communicate to animals?
These cards are really answering. Okay.
Okay, I think what I'm getting kind of makes sense. A little bit, even though this is really strange. it's necessarily in the way that we expect or the way that we're shown in the media. Because I do pick up that some people say that they, can communicate to animals, but they're making that up. Some people definitely are just full of BS. But I pick up a lot of communication happens on an emotional and energetic level. That it may not always be verbal communications. Now, what I do have next is that, of course, there are very intelligent animals that have learned how to communicate. They've learned how to, there's certain, birds and stuff that they've mimicked words in various languages. And they know, I think it's kind of like a child learning how to talk. They might not know what the word is, but they know what the sounds are. And they start to sort of understand that, okay, this bunch of sounds has a meaning. And if I say it, then, the other people will say it back. That's still a form of communication that they're still learning. I'm also being reminded of Coco the gorilla, how I don't know if I'm picking up that she for sure 100% understood the ASL or if she just memorized. I pick up it's like a little bit of both. At first, it was her just memorizing the different signs and being rewarded for copying with the hands what they were doing. But then she started to understand, oh, this actually means something. When I do this with this hand, this communicates this thing to my person.
Mm-hmm.
And then she actually did start to figure out the whole okay, they're trying to communicate. I pick up that, yes, we can communicate with animals. It is possible. This happens a lot. I'm picking up it was really, really, because here we got 10 of Pentacles. I'm picking up family, close knit family, and also people who have just extremely close connections to their pets or to another creature out in nature if they have a strong bond with it, and there's this level of trust that's been built up. I do pick up that it's they're able to communicate on an emotional level. I actually have the Empress and the Emperor together. A lot of times, now I pick up a lot of times, some pets think of themselves as, oh, I'm the child or I'm the litter mate, and this is, the human, this is my mother. And some animals think of it the other way around. Well, these humans are my children. And when they have that extremely close bond like that, then it's like an emotional level, it's nonverbal, it's energetic. I pick up also just the communication of ideas and feelings. That's what I got.
I get, yes, there's communication. It's not verbal. Let love end is the first one I got, which means to, you need to let a different, this is more of a spiritual thing, the thing that's on the inside. Revitalize your nervous system. This is more, there's also a mental trigger as well. Like pets know, like for instance, some service animals that know if you're about to have a seizure and things of that nature. There's a different kind of communication. It's energetic. It's not verbal. And it could be, because they recognize signs of when you call their name. They weren't when they were born, their mother didn't name them that. You named them that, and you repeated it enough, and they knew to come when you said that. So they get the signs, they hear the cues type things.
Yeah.
But inhale the breath of life. It's something that all creatures have, that thing that sparks life, that communicates with each other. And as a result of that thing communicating with each other, being on the inside of us, we then communicate with each other. I think it would be a lot stronger if we learned how to use it, because I follow your intuition. It would be a lot stronger if we knew how to turn it on automatically. Like if there's a dog or cat or possum or whatever, if you knew how to energetically communicate with that animal, it would be a lot easier than you saying something to your dog and then giving you the side face. Like, I don't know what you just said.
Yeah. I'm just going to look cute until you pet me.
Yeah. So yes, there is communication. I think we can all do it. It's not necessarily a unique thing. I think we can kind of all do it if we learned how anyway. But you have to then first accept that you have a spiritual connection to actually.
Yes, that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
Now, Linda is saying in the chat, my dog, I could get her to say, I want out and I love you. And she totally understood everything I said. Oh, that's cute. This is random, was she one of those huskies or malamutes? Because they're very talkative. I've seen a whole bunch of videos of like people with their malamutes and they're like howling and it sounds like they're speaking. Oh, they are my friend has one and he is such a drama queen. This dog. And he makes the derpiest faces, and he is so cute. But sometimes he makes noises like he's trying to talk too. It's really adorable. And I think there are probably some breeds that are just so vocal that they're like, oh, the people are doing it, so let's try.
Mm-hmm. They mimic everything else.
Honestly, I'm being reminded of like babies and toddlers learning how to talk. They do a lot of spiritual and emotional communication themselves.
Yeah.
And it's, sometimes that's extremely helpful for caregivers. But then they start to pick up, oh, okay, well, now they're making noises. And so I need to try to make noises. And they start to understand what certain noises mean.
Mm-hmm. Because you raise enough of them, you know what baby sounds are. It's like, oh, that's the sound for hunger. Oh, that's the sound for pain. That's the sound for this.
Oh, Linda says she was a pug terrier. Oh, cute. Mm-hmm. Tiny puppy. Okay. And did or do unicorns exist? And where? And did they evolve?
Let's see.
And okay, I was saying earlier, I got an intuitive hit when it comes to unicorns, and I will share this in a minute. Debbie says I like the sausage dogs. Oh, dachshunds, they are so cute. Your dogs. All right, unicorns. Oh, wow, the first card I have has a horse on it. Okay, so you want to know what I got? Yes, maybe they did. They used to be in greater numbers. And there is like some kind of like satisfaction. I don't know what it is. It seemed like they were, I don't know how to explain that, but there's like this kind of satisfaction with life. They liked being part of Earth. I do have the Fool card where it's like, it's one of those things that it seems weird to believe in, but Spirit's like, give it a try, believe in it, open your mind. We don't see them. It's not like they're invisible. It's just that we don't really know where to find them. And what I'm picking up now is, here's the thing, the intuitive hit that I got last night. I was being shown a mule. You can breed a donkey and a horse to make a mule, but the mules can't have babies. They're usually sterile. And I actually picked that up about unicorns, that it could be something like that. That it's like almost like unknown or like forgotten knowledge that people have. I also have here like the high priestess. It could have been, I don't know if it was maybe secret information or something a long time ago, what to breed together to make a unicorn. But it just seems like there's some kind of forgotten knowledge regarding that. But it was in like, I'm picking up in the past, it was just kind of passed down like oral history and shared through generations. And then, yeah, I just pick up it's been basically forgotten about and now people just don't even really believe in it anymore.
Mine starts with the Four of Cups too. The oracles live an extraordinary life. So yes, they do exist. The extraordinary, what we would consider extraordinary, because it's not common. You don't see it grazing with the gazelle all the time. Now, I used to think, well, that's the most preposterous thing in the world, a unicorn. However, it is not like there aren't horse-like creatures with horns on their head on this planet. So why would it be so far-fetched that There's something that just has one horn.
Well, and exactly. And I pick up that it's made of the same material as cow horns and hoofs and our fingernails. It's that same stuff.
I think the problem I had was the romanticism of it being this big winged creature, and that, it was like you're looking at it the wrong way. Again, what you've been getting all day is you're looking at it wrong. You're accepting it wrong. You're looking at this the wrong way. Now, as far as where they are and what they're doing and all, I think their environment has been extremely encroached on with the 8 of Swords and 10 of Swords, because I was getting like an extinct type feeling. They're not extinct. However, I was getting that type of feeling that you're not going to just run across one. This is not it. It's more of a, now here's the fantasy part, but this is what I kind of see though. It's more of a moonlight thing, and you're not going to find it walking around in the daytime. You're not going to find it walking around at nighttime either, but you may see it and not know what it is. Kind of like people do with Bigfoot all the time.
Yeah. Or you might mistake it for a horse.
Yes.
Regular horse that, whatever.
And mind you, I will also say this, because nature is quite interesting this way. The male lion has the mane, the female does not. The male peacock has the feathers, the female does not. So maybe what you see as a horse is just a female unicorn with no horn. Because this is more than likely a defense mechanism, which you really would need for the female, since they're not the one doing the fighting and the territorial back and forth.
Yeah.
And so it could be a situation of that too, with the build of confidence. There might be some sort of need for a horn that the female doesn't have. Because most male lions do not hunt because they stick out. They can't blend. But I still get the encroachment thing that the reckless action may lead to conflict. So there is something about the encroachment of land, and like we do with all animals. And so I think, yes, but you're not just going to stumble upon one day. And if you do, take a picture.
Yeah. And I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I picked up that it's a horse and something else, or something very specific that actually breeds a unicorn, but that unicorns and other unicorns don't. I just didn't pick up unicorns and other unicorns breeding. I just kept being reminded of mules that way.
So where those species not necessarily went extinct, but basically mated themselves out of a species type thing.
Right. You know what? I think we have time for another question. This has been moving along so nicely. So one that I do remember you asking, suggesting, was if children ran the world, and if children actually were in charge of this world, what would it be like?
What would it look like?
I think that's such a fun question. I think that would be a great one to end on.
Because I had a philosophical thought one day that there's no such thing as innocence. It's more like a ignorance. Children don't know how to be corrupt, therefore they're not corrupt.
Yeah.
Once you learn how to lie, then you will start to lie. Now, mind you, most children start lying because they get in trouble for telling the truth.
True.
Like, did you break that lamp? Yes, and now they're in trouble. Now, if they would have told you, no, I didn't, then you would have went on some, Columbo investigation to find out who broke the lamp. And then,
right. Or one of those, oh, that's weird, it must have just fallen off.
Yeah, it was the wind.
Yeah.
The dark wind. But if children with their non-corrupt spirits, if they ran the world, what would it look like?
I mean, okay, all right. I got some interesting answers. Try to pull another one here. Okay. It would have to be within moderation. There still needs to be adult supervision. I do have, though, there'd just be a lot of happiness, and a lot of decisions would be made out of joy and happiness, and what's going to make, and I think little kids, it's like, well, what's going to make me happy? What's going to make mommy and daddy happy? What's going to feel best? So some decisions could be made on what would feel best. I have here like a huge emphasis on love and friendship. Little kids make friends so fast, and it's like, oh, you're playing with a red truck. I'm also playing with a red truck. Let's be buddies. Like, let's do this together. There's just like this emphasis on cooperation and an emphasis on collaboration with each other and working together. I also and with that lovers, there's just this open, it's like having an open heart, not just an open mind, but open heart to just accepting people. And you like somebody because they play with you, or you like someone because you have fun together. Well, that's great. Good. It would sort of, in some ways, it would raise the vibration of the world. But this is weird saying, this is why we take that, we still have that inner light and that inner love, that inner purity that we've always had since we were born. And some people, of course, throughout life, we have all our filters in place. We make choices. We suppress it, but maybe that would be just stronger in a lot of people. Maybe people would just be more playful and have a lighter approach to the world. However, I do have moderation, because we still need somebody to be responsible, be in control. We still need someone to make hard decisions. And well, I mean, I have the devil card. I'm just picking up like safety and stuff too, obviously. We still need somebody to set the hard boundaries and to say no when we need to hear no. But there's just this like childlike, well, maybe naivety. A lot of people maybe would be more naive, but and that's, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but there's just this like more innocent, more open-minded, just more go with the flow of life, a little bit less worry.
Yes and yes. Now, mind you, I will say this. There are some savants within our children and our baby children that they could figure things out and get the world moving in the right place. However, the information that would cause them to be a savant was established by an adult. So they're learning things adults have already established as facts. So it's not like, they created it, blah, blah, blah. But with that being said, I'm sure, if God wanted that to be to where the children ran the world, then they would still have the knowledge they needed. The knowledge, not the capability. Smarts and intelligence are two different things. And so there would start off with some, oh my God, what are we doing? What are we got to do? Because if you look at our complicated world now, a lot of it is built upon bureaucracy and all that type of thing. That's not really a childlike thing. Children are more like, that's my ball. Okay, no, that's my. When they figure out that, oh, you know what, I can go to the store, buy my own ball, then there's no more conflict. Not, oh, that's my country, that's my land type thing. So we would have a lot of potential for things to go in a more loving direction.
Yeah.
Because they are not as conflict driven as adults. Because
children would rather play.
Yes, just like you said, adults put so many filters and so many. I don't like this person because, and I don't like this country because, and I don't like whatever because. We do that, and that's what corrupts that innocence out of people in the first place.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of working together. They work together a lot better than we do. Like I've said when I do my walking live streams, there are 6 kids down the street. They all are neighbors. They're all different colors and different all of this. And they just play and scream and play and run up the street and ride the scooters. It's the most beautiful thing you ever want to see, because that's what the world is supposed to look like.
That's exactly it.
This is what they would do. There would be no, I don't like you because you're dark, and I don't like you because you're light, and there would be none of, well, there might be, but it's not as it is with adults. There is none of that.
Right.
Now that's the nice part.
Yeah.
There are also things that you need big people for. Now, mind you, there'll still be big people to create the this and create the that, but you do need a more mature mind to deal with disasters, to deal with dangers, to deal with threats to the earth, to deal with storms, to deal with the aftermath of storms.
Mhm.
Just because I knocked down your sandcastle, you started to cry. Well, what if you knocked down my whole house? Then, it's like we still need a maturity that comes with age. And so there is a lot of niceness in society, but
Mm.
the planet as a whole does better with adults in charge. It just kind of does. Our spirit
And yeah.
needs the childlike innocence. That's why, the God says, be like the babes, the mouth of babes. We
Yeah.
need that niceness, that energy, but we do still need the bigger people for the bigger people problems.
The image I'm being shown now is just the tapestry of life, where it takes all kinds, all
Mhm.
energies, all threads. There's always going to be adults. There's always going to be children. There's always going to be this balance
Yeah.
of innocence and maturity, or naivety and maturity, or curiosity and already knowing something, or you know,
Yes.
always a balance between learning and teaching as well. And that's why it just takes all kinds. But I thought that was a really fun thing. That was something I'd never thought of before. And you know what? I still love little kids. I used to be a teacher. I used to work with them at daycare. I used to teach babies and all that stuff. And they are very, very amazing little people.
Hmm. I
Mm-hmm.
had zero patience for them as I was getting older. It's like, oh, I can't with these kids. But as I got older, then I matured because your brain ain't fully functioned until you're about 25, anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand them now. I get that. I used to be that, and
Yeah.
it took a while for me to get there because please get me away from these kids, all this noise, and you jumping up and down. Like, were you wake up this way?
But you used to do that when you were
Yeah.
little. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I got 27, and then I wake up like I was just out of The Walking Dead or something. It's like
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't function.
25 and I'm like, the kids that I used to look after, it would be like 7 in the morning and they'd just be like zip zoom all over the place. I'm like, what sort of coffee did you have? I want
I'm
it.
saying, please give me that.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. I can't do
Oh, Rob, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it.
it.
All right. Well, that was Weird Questions for July. I don't even know which episode this is now. Episode 8, I think. I've been doing this for a while now. It's been really fun.
Mhm.
And thank you for coming on with me and for agreeing to join me for this one. And for everybody for your questions and all your ideas, all your support in all the various ways. Remember to like and subscribe to Tarot's Apprentice. No, wait, Tarot's Apprentice. And also to myself, Santa Rose Metaphysical. And with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you around my next uploads.